I took a page out of a coloring book and turned it into wearable art. It's beautiful, and I'm going to show you how I did it. So we have enlarged the image to the size we want for our garment. Now the next thing, it's very important we have to color this in because we need to know which piece is which color. So after coloring the image in, the next piece of this puzzle is to cut it apart. So this image is in fact going to turn into 31 different pieces. And here it is. It's all cut apart. You can see every piece moves. The next part of this is we have to make fabrics out of this. So we need fabrics that are the actual colors of the character we're dealing with. So now we have to just choose fabrics that exactly match the colors of our character. And so here they are. So I've got dark blue, medium light, little yellow, little white, little black, and red and gray. So that's the variety I have. It doesn't take much fabric for each of these. Before I pull this character apart, I want to point something out. I have a couple of pieces that are solid white. The whites of the eyes, the teeth. If you have a white piece, take an ink pen and just mark a dot on that white piece. That's just to let you know later that that's the front piece of this, because in the process, we're going to be turning these upside down, and we always need to know which is the front side. It's easy on the colored ones, we just know the color. So I'm going to separate these out into piles onto each fabric choice that they belong to. Okay, so now we have done it. We have separated out all the pieces and we know exactly how much fabric we need for each one. Like for instance, this yellow, do you see the yellow here? I don't need this entire piece of yellow, so I'm going to kind of chop these down. And then the next step is to create an iron-on. And the product I'm using is called Heat and Bond Ultra Hold. It's an iron-on adhesive and I love it for applique projects. Okay, all my pieces are separated out onto whatever color fabric they belong. Now, the Heat and Bond Ultra Hold is what I'm going to use. We sell it at sewingpartsonline.com. And the Heat and Bond is great. I'm going to show you what it looks like. It is a sticky side on one side, and if you can't see with the camera, that's okay. It's very, it shines a lot in person. And then the plain side is just paper. Okay, so I cut a piece of Heat and Bond to basically be the size of one of the colored fabrics that we use. So, you know, I cut a small one for down here and a larger for here. So what we want to do next is I'm going to take one of the colors. Let's do medium blue. And this next stage, this is the reason why we marked our white pieces. We are going to turn every piece upside down, face down on the paper side of the Heat and Bond, and take an ink pen and trace around every single piece. Okay, so that's our next step. We're going to do this with all the colors, and then we will come back. So I've finished tracing every one of these pieces. Remember, face down on the paper side. There's my medium blues, there's my light blues. I'm just finishing right now pressing the dark blue. I've traced all these pieces, so with my iron, I'm just gonna hold it about 3 to 5 seconds on each spot here. And this is what creates the actual iron-on. This is a great product. So, this looks good. Good. My dark blue is now ironed on as well. So what I'm going to do is take all of my colors and all of my drawings And it's time to cut them out. Get some fabric scissors. Even though we're cutting through a little bit of paper, we're really cutting fabric. Get your fabric scissors, cut all of these pieces out, and then meet me back at the ironing board. And when I look at my picture here, that's sort of what I want. So I'm pulling this down, and I'm laying these pieces on here one at a time. You do not want to lay out all the pieces and peel them off. Don't do that. You will have a mess. Start with just one area of it, and if the orientation feels right and you're comfortable with that, only iron those down. So, for instance, I'm going to take these pieces one by one, and they have a paper backing, so I'm peeling the backing off and discarding it, and I'm laying them back down where I feel they belong. So I've done all these other couple already, so let me just do the white eyeball here. And I'm using a seam ripper just to kind of tweak the pieces to move them if they need to. Now remember, this is an applique, so after all is said and done, we're going to be stitching around all these pieces, so don't worry if you're not perfect right now. I like this. This is a good beginning. I'm going to take a hot iron and I'm going to give it a couple of seconds. I'm going to give it like 5 seconds, I think. That should be it. So look at what we've done. This is attached to the shirt. It's beautiful. Now we're just going to lay the rest of the design out and finish it up. And here it is. This is beautiful. I love this. Now, look, my light blue almost matches the color of the denim shirt, but only not for long, because the next stage of this and the last stage of this, of course, is to stitch around all the raw edges. So when I have black thread outlining everything, much like a cartoon picture is, it's always outlined in black. I'm going to do that next, so our sewing machine is the next stop. Okay, so we're ready to stitch around the outside and in between all the pieces. Now, I have started, remember the legs and the feet kind of blended in with this fabric color? You can see I've started to outline the leg and the foot just to show you what a difference this is going to make. I'm using black thread and I'm using a very narrow, a very small zigzag stitch. In fact, the width is 2 millimeters and the length of the stitch is 0.1, so it's very small. Do yourself a favor, run some test patterns first on some fabric just to see what your stitch looks like and make sure you're happy with it. But I'm just going to continue and outline everything and then we are going to be finished. So. And this is the final result, and I absolutely love it. It was a lot of work, but it was well worth it. You know, pages out of coloring books, they are full of artwork. It's what it is. So take a look at your kids' rooms and your grandkids' coloring books and see if there's something you like. It makes a wonderful gift. I love this project, and I hope you'll give it a try. Happy sewing.